G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke, here you go. Today, I'm going to be working on my ash tree. I think I bought this ash tree at the Adelaide Bonsai show about, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe, just a guess. And it's been in this pot ever since, and last year's growth was fairly small, as you can see, and I think it's about time that it has a repot. I did try and do a thread graft through the live vein at the front here, but that didn't take. So I think I might just not worry about that and just build up this as like a secondary trunk out here. And don't worry about the, what did I say it was? A thread graft. Don't worry about the thread graft. As you notice, it's a school night. So I've got my coffee going still. Beauty. But yeah, I'm going to give it a trim and then I'm going to repot it because ash tree is just after the almond tree for waking up. It's almost the, I'd say it's almost the second tree that wakes up. So we'll be giving it a repot this year because it's pretty well compacted in there. Now I don't really have a pot to suit it, but I do have these pots here that I picked up fairly cheap. And I know it's too shallow, but I was thinking I might mound it up a little bit. See how far I can reduce this, but mound it up a little bit and see how we go. Should be okay. Might not suit it 100%, but we'll see. So I'll put this to the side. Don't really need it now, I'll get it out later. Careful not to break it. Gone out and collected my moss already. Here's my moss. I collected that from under the bonsai because the moss in my paddock has already dried up because it hasn't rained here for probably 3 weeks. Not properly anyway, so the moss in the paddock's dried up. And it is starting to warm up again. I can feel the bite and the sun, it's coming back. Feels like change of seasons. So anyway, we should get some more cold fronts to get some more moss anyway. Because I do gotta finish mossing some of my other trees. Okay, so let's give this one a trim. I'll get rid of that moss. Now, as per normal, I've got to go find my tools. Other side of the shed. I don't need too many. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to need some snips, branch cutters, maybe concave cutters. I'm not going to need my root hook because I'm going to pull that apart. And I will need my special root rakes from Stephen McKay, another good supporter of the channel. Okay. He made those. That's from Dragonfly Wire. Stephen McKay, he made them for me. That's pretty cool out of wood. They're awesome. Another supporter. I need a drill and a drill bit so that we can take the box apart. So bear with me. Have another sip of your beer or whatever you're doing. And I'll get this drill ready, pull the box apart. Here we go. So yeah, while we're on the subject of supporters, where the heck are you, mate? Bloody hell, mate. Some things are just so difficult. Bastard. Got it. While we're on the subject of supporters, I know quite a few of you guys offered to do a fund me page or whatever you call it. One, I'm too dumb to set that up, so I wouldn't know how. And two, I don't really like taking handouts so much. I don't mind stuff like this that I can use and then advertise, you know, the person. But handouts as far as money, I'm not a big fan of that. Even if I could work out how to do it. But what I might do in the future, I might monetize the channel just to get some of the costs back for, you know, a new computer and all that sort of stuff. You don't get much money, but it might just help just that little bit. A new editing program that I had to buy. I had to upgrade my old one, but anyway, that doesn't matter. That's all fine. So I may do that, but I appreciate you guys for the support and offering to help out with the GoFundMe. Let's get this box out. Oh, it's that rotten that it's not going to even undo. Well, what am I doing? We got to trim this tree first. Alright, so trimming the tree, as you can see, there's not a lot to trim. I'm just going to trim back anywhere where there's 3 from one location, trim it back to 2. Keep the weaker shoots at the top and cut them back so there's short internodes. Keep the weaker shoots at the top and the stronger shoots at the bottom. And I mean, yeah, just keep your internode short as well. There's not a lot to do on it really, because mid-summer last year I think I defoliated this. One of the little things I did do with bonsai last year, I defoliated this and it shot out a new, weaker secondary growth. So that's actually caused it now to be pretty easy to manage. There's not much here to cut off. Just a few areas where we got some shoots that we don't want them. Where we got maybe 3 from one location. But in general, so here's 3, cut one back, shorten them. Yeah, they're all still alive, so it won't be long. This thing here, the buds will start swelling, and once that happens, there'll be no stopping it. She'll just take off for spring. And I find the ash tree, what they'll do is they'll shoot really fast at the start of spring, really fast and hard. Put on big long shoots, really vibrant, nice shoots. And but then after they've done that, sorry I got sidetracked here mucking around. But after they've put on the strong shoots, if you just leave everything how it is, I find that the ash tree actually stops shooting and just sits there for the rest of the summer. It's like a single flush almost tree. So what I do, well what I did last year, which worked, was I defoliated the whole thing, completely defoliated it, and that actually caused it to shoot out the secondary time, and with some you know, decent ramification on the secondary push, with a lot closer internodes, because you'll find the initial push, the internodes will be quite long. But this secondary push that it did has given me really close, short internodes, really good, you know, secondary ramification. So we'll just go around shortening all the long ones, cutting it back to 2 from each location, and that's it, you know, pretty simple stuff. And I'm not really going for much shape here, I'm just, you know, the branches are where they are already. And then here I'll let this one here fill in with some more shoots, and that'll create like a secondary apex, and all this can fill in more. But for now, let's, you know, just cut these back a bit shorter. Just cut them back short. They're too long, too uninteresting. Just cut them back, and that's it. As you can see, no bloody rocket science here. Just cut them back, and you got what you got. So that's it. Let's cut back. Now I've left this one here as a back branch, and I'll probably, yeah, I might even bend that one up. Well, I won't bend it up, I'll put a guide wire, hang on. I'll go and get a bit of copper wire. Go down a bit. So what I'll do is where I've done the carving and I've got some holes in the wood, I'll use that to anchor just a loop of wire, nothing special. Just go through one of these holes, anchor a piece of wire, and then all I want to do is pull this one up so that it grows up. Because I think in deciduous, the initial direction of a branch should be up. And I'm just going to cut that back so there's no shoots on top of that wire, so that won't cut in. And there's two big buds underneath, they'll shoot out really strong. And I'll let them grow pretty much all summer to really fatten that back branch up. And that's it. So that's the trimming. Pretty well done, you know, pretty simple. Once you get a tree to this sort of, you know, I guess you could call it refinement stage, although it's not really, because it's not refined yet, but you know, a lot of the structure is already set, so all you're doing is trying to get division in the branching now at this sort of stage. So that, you know, so that's all pretty simple. It's pretty much it. I think I paid, from memory, I think I paid about 30 bucks for this stump. No one wanted it, being an ash tree. Ash trees not very popular here in Australia as a bonsai, and I think I've got 2 of them. So let's see what sort of roots we got. There's a couple more down the bottom. So this pot's lasted pretty well, considering probably been 4 years, I would say. I can't really remember when I did repot it, so I could be lying. Although, if I don't remember, I guess it's not lying, but we'll see. I might have it back in an old video. Oh, the drill's gone flat. Bugger. Bear with me, I'll go get another battery. Alright, we got another battery. Okay, there's those 2 sides off. Better put it somewhere so the kids don't tread on a screw, put it through their foot or something. Put it to the side here for now, clean it up later. Okay, well, that's the root mass. Oh, that was easy, wasn't it? Pretty simple. It's like a fairly solid block of roots. I might save a little bit of this moss on top because I'm not sure that I've collected enough, although I think I have. It's not that great anyway. Just take the odd bit off. I think I've got enough moss. I'll take the better bits off here. Put that to the side. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably root hook the top just a little bit, just to get rid of some of the surface dirt, just to see where the roots are. See if there's anything I need to expose, or if they're all fine roots, I'll just cover them all back up. If we end up with some good roots coming out the side, I might choose to expose them a bit, so that it, you know, creates the illusion of being, you know, having a nice strong root system connecting it to the ground, nice and stable. I'm not going to fuss around too much. You know, these ash trees are pretty hardy. You don't need to fuss around with them too much. This root hook from Stephen McKay's going alright. There's worms in here. So we got worms in. Oh, we got worms in here, which is a good sign. Now, here's where some people might scratch their head. And, you know, comment on how I'm not doing it right, but each to their own. You know, I watch so many videos where they go to all the effort of combing out all these bottom roots, get them all combed out beautifully, and then do you know what they do? They get the scissors and neatly cut them off. So, a quicker way of doing it, just get this saw here, put it on its side here, hold on to it somewhere where it's pretty stable, cut it pretty well in half. Being deciduous should be fine. It looks aggressive, but it's pretty well the same as if you go and comb out all the roots and then do this anyway. If you comb out all the roots and then chop it off with scissors, this saves a bit of the mucking around, speeds it up a bit. Like I'm going through something pretty solid there. Maybe the bottom of the tree was actually sunk in a fair way in that pot. Might have been a reason why I put it in such a big pot. Right, looks like we've got some here. Just a few roots in the middle. Just show you. So, oh, heavy. So, looks like we've cut into a few roots in the middle there, but that's alright. It's pretty hardy. Cut through them all. I do have a reciprocating saw, but I broke the blade on it, so I'll have to get another blade. In the meantime, I'm going to do it the hard way. Whew, bit of puffing. See how we're looking. So obviously when I first put this in this deeper pot, I left a fair bit of the root base on. I probably should have, right then and there, knowing that it's going to be a bonsai, cut it off right from the start. Because now we've got to sort of really go backwards, but you know, stress the tree out a little bit to get rid of that big bulb on the bottom. I should have done it when I first got the tree, but obviously I was a bit lazy, so anyway, that's that. So that's pretty well, that's cut straight across the bottom now. I'm just going to fit in a lot smaller pot. I know that looks aggressive, and it is, but it is a tough, really tough deciduous tree, and like I say, it's no different to combing out all the roots carefully and then chopping them off anyway with the scissors after. So this is, you know, a bit more physical way of doing it, but a lot quicker. So as you can see, being reduced. So I'm going to now go out and hose it down a bit, just to hose out the dirt out of the roots so that it can get some new soil in there, and then we'll come back and repot it. Okay guys, back in the shed, you can see I've hosed it out. Didn't hose it out fully though. I want to leave some of the original soil in there, some of the original roots, just to keep it happy. And you can see all the massive amount of fine roots that it's got. So losing half its roots, that'll be fine. Next thing is, this pot has only got one drainage hole, which is a bit strange for such a big pot. Probably be alright being a ash tree though. So what I'll do, I've got this gutter guard here. And what I'll do is I might chop up, because it's fairly coarse, or it might even be a tree guard, because it's fairly coarse and bugs will probably still get through, I'll cut maybe 3 bits up and then just stagger them around that hole, and then that'll make it really fine so the bugs can't get through. Okay, then we're going to get some soil. Now, I don't have, they'll run out of bonsai mix, so I didn't want to get complete potting mix because I thought, no, it might be too waterlogged, but it is an ash tree, but then again, it is in a shallow pot. So I ended up just getting some cactus and succulent mix. You know, I don't think it's too critical what soil you have. You just adjust your watering to what sort of soil you got. And that's pretty much it, I reckon. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a lot of the soil out to the edge and try and plonk the main root base in the middle. Might even get rid of some. Where am I going to put it? Bloody well, Sam. I'll put it on the side of the table. Always get carried away. I put nearly that whole bag in there. And then here I am trying to get it back out. Hopeless, Sam. Hopeless. Hopeless, man. Alright. Well, let's hope that's a good amount taken out there. You know, to be honest, I think these companies make potting mix, bonsai soil and succulent soil pretty much all the same. I don't think it varies a lot, to be honest. Okay, so I've taken all the roots away that I dare to take away. Pretty happy with the angle that it's planted on. Let's just have a look at the hang on, just go up a bit. That sign, Adrian Eggleton's sign. Sorry Adrian, you'll have to get out the way, mate. Okay, so pretty happy with the angle and everything, the height. Pretty much now I can just play around with what the front needs to be. Whether you go more like that. This will be a secondary trunk, remember. In the back. I think that's the angle that it was on is pretty good. Remember, whatever you plant it at is how you're going to have to look at it for the next 3 or 4 years, however often you want to repot it. So I'll just look around a bit. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll go back there and then just pull that around a little bit. Yeah, like that. Maybe like that. That might be enough. And then, seeing as there's no massive anchoring roots at the top, there's a few here, I might expose those. I'm pretty much just going to fill it up and put moss over the whole thing again. And maybe by the time it gets repotted next, there'll be some more dominant roots. A bit of a root down the side, a bit of a base down here. Okay, so if I expose that one here, this clump here, that's going to really make it look a bit stronger, a bit better cemented into the dirt. Literally all I'm going to do is just cover it in the sides, just sort of push it in there a little bit where I've hosed some dirt out, and then the roots can find their own way into the new soil. You know, you might say this is a bloody crude way of doing it, but hey, it works and it's quick. And these trees have such fine root system, you could never comb it out, I wouldn't have thought. It's going to have to sit up in the pot a little bit because I don't normally like to, but this pot's so shallow and I don't dare take any more off the bottom of this tree. So it is what it is, I guess. Just sort of push the soil in, collect it back, put some over the top of the roots as well. Like I say, this is a cactus mix and I don't know, it looks fine to me. Should be right. I do have another bag there, so if I need it, I've got it. You think that's a, that's a 10 litre bag. So there's a fair bit of medium for it to grow into. 10 litres of mix, soil, potting mix, whatever you want to call it, substrate, whatever your fancy name is for it. Dirt. Like I say, I'm never really that fussed, you know, I just repot trees into whatever I've got lying around. They don't seem too fussed about it. I think we fuss about it more than the trees care, to be honest. Just put whatever floats your boat, as long as it holds enough moisture, and if it holds too much moisture, just water it a bit less. Simple. I reckon I watched a, I think it was Walter Paul do an interview, and he said if you wanted to and you watered it right, you could grow a bonsai with old teeth as a substrate. So there you go. And that's coming from the expert, not from me. Just got to water it and fertilise it right, and you can pretty much grow it in anything. Yeah, don't fuss too much about what you're using. That's just cactus mix, and to be honest, I think it actually looks like it'll drain better than the bonsai mix they make. It actually looks better than the bonsai mix, so I may go with that from now on. Okay. Jesus. Okay, let's get some moss on here. I'm going to leave this bit exposed, and fine roots will hopefully dry back a bit in the sun and expose that bit of a base that's there. And same with on this other side, I'll try and do the same. And sort of jigsaw it all together, all the moss. I may have underestimated how much moss I need, but we'll see. See how we go. Big pot. Probably make this tree look small now in this massive pot, but it's all I've got lying around. There's not much else I can do about it for now. Okay. What are you doing there, Leo? Hey? What are you doing, Bubba? You trying to tip my moss on the ground, are you, mate? Now this moss I collected is a bit dry, so it's not really squashing onto the soil too well, but a few days of watering and it'll sort of bond to the soil a bit better. Just keep pushing it on. Going pretty well. Doesn't feel quite right doing bonsai without beer, but not tonight. School night, no mucking around here. I'm nowhere near enough moss here. I've got to go and collect some more. Bugger. Drag. Make these videos dragged on. Suppose I can always fast forward it, edit it. Yeah, we're gonna run out, Leo. We've run out, buddy. Hey, it's your boy. It's your boy. A few more big bits will be right. Alright, let's go get some more, Leo. Okay guys, well, we've got all the repotting done. I know some of you will say that it's a bit crude, but most deciduous trees don't mind being repotted like that. Pretty much all of them. It's fine to repot them like that, they don't even blink. So I'll just give it a quick bit of water here. Put it back on the bench, put it in full sun, and hopefully in a month or so I can show you all the new buds all over it. It won't even blink. A little bit more water. And all this new moss, that'll cover in pretty quickly. And establish itself. Alrighty. No worries. Well, the ash tree's got itself a new home for the next few years. Just push that moss down a bit into the new soil now that it's all wet. Already the moss is starting to green up. I reckon it is. I know it seems a bit ridiculous, but moss does not take long. You can get rain that night and by the next afternoon the moss already looks green. Might not have greened up much, but you know, she's right. Okay, so I'll give you a spin on the way out. Here we go. No worries. Cheers for watching, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mates about the channel. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please click the bell. Help out the channel. And thanks very much for watching. Cheers.